He would shut his bedroom door and put the bed against the door so that we couldn't get in. And he put a sign on the door that said, "Don't come in, I've hung myself."
So I know that you mentioned that your family was religious,
Yeah.
and that your dad had a mental illness. And I feel like all mental illnesses are different, but what was that like growing up with your parent?
Yeah, I
struggling?
mean, it confusing, I think. It's confusing to work out what's going on in someone's head. Are they thinking rationally? Are they thinking, is it the illness that's kind of that's forming the words and stuff? I mean, what happened was, in the sense of a day to day, my dad would sleep during the day and then he would get up at night. So I kind of didn't see him.
Weird.
And then he'd be up when I was in bed. So it was kind of there but not there. And then that was true physically, and that was true emotionally, and that was true mentally. He was there but not there. So he was distracted or zoned out at times. And with my dad's specific illness, with he's struggling with schizophrenia, it was kind of peaks and troughs, but quite big, long troughs and big peaks. So there's moments where I was like, this is brilliant. He's great. He's present. He's doing stuff. And then he'd disappear in bed and stuff. But when it got really bad and really dark was he would often be suicidal. So he would shut his bedroom door and put the bed against the door so that we couldn't get in. And he put a sign on the door that said, "Don't come in, I've hung myself." So,
my God.
and as a kid, you're like, okay, have you? And probably like 20 years later, I intercepted him from doing that, or I'd got to the house, the flat that he was in just after he tried to hang himself with an extension cord on a stairwell. So it was confusing because you're like, what's going on? And he wasn't actually diagnosed with schizophrenia till like really far on into our, probably maybe like late teens or something. We just thought, what's wrong with Dad? He's, some days he's good, some days he's not. And in some ways it feels like a bit of a failure that whoever it was that should have diagnosed him didn't diagnose him, because it would have really helped us. And I think, we could have got a bit more support and stuff. My mum was a legend, just keeping us all together and trying to bring a bit of normality to it. But it was definitely difficult and quite turbulent as in my childhood in that sense. Some amazing stories and memories, obviously, but
Yeah, that's crazy. I always because I just watched a little mini documentary, and it was like a mom who had just had a baby, and she struggled with like schizophrenia as well, and she was just kind of talking about it and everything. And it's just like, I've just always wondered like how the kid's going to be affected. How are they going to be like growing up? And obviously you now, and you're doing some amazing things. Do you think that like that kind of like pushed you in that direction, like seeing your dad struggle? And
potentially, and probably, I think, my dad, what I have to remember is that I have to try and look for when you sift through stuff and you're sifting, like looking for gold or whatever in rivers, you sift through all stuff and you find the gold. Like I used to send my kids on treasure hunts when they went to school. They're like, "Oh, I really don't like school." I was like, "Okay, you're on a treasure hunt today and you need to find 5 pieces of gold in your day. So when I pick you up after school, you need to tell me 5 good things that you've seen, the treasure hunt, a treasure hunt for gold."
So nice.
And I think doing that for my dad, and a person saying, okay, there is all that, and there's the whole crap that comes with, paranoia and all that stuff, and, depression and darkness and anxiety and fear and all that stuff. But remembering the gold and saying, I remember my dad was kind. Like my dad he was gentle. Like he wouldn't harm. If there was a fly that was in the room, he wouldn't squash it. He'd kind of like shoo it out. He was gentle. He was kind. He was loving. He was compassionate. He would help people that were kind of homeless, and he'd pray for people coming out of doctors. It's like, is everything all right? And his just heart was kind. He was soft. And I've got to remember that and cling to that, so that they then don't reject my dad and say, I'm never going to be like my dad. Because he was struggling with an illness. And of course I want to be like my dad when he was kind, loving, gentle, because there's some gold in there, some lovely things. So
that's really nice.
Everybody should take that. Everybody should look for gold in their day every day.
That's
treasure hunt.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's
That's really
Because
nice.
Melanie, obviously, you know that Melanie has kids,
Mm.
and yeah, sometimes like Melanie was just telling me they came out of school one day and one of them was like, "Oh, I don't like this and this," and Melanie was like, "That's
Oh
weird.
yeah.
Why would you think this?" And then she started listing all of the lovely things that they have.
Oh,
That
nice.
Yeah,
it
it's
just
like,
reminded me of
why
this.
focus on the negative whenever you have so much positivity around
Mm.
you? Like all you're doing is like attracting that negative mindset. And it's just like it's such a sad way to live. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, so it's just like always be grateful. Like because there's like I was saying to the kids, they were saying like, oh, we don't have a swing set in our school. And I was like, yeah, but look how much space you have. You live right
Yeah.
by the beach.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and then
totally.
and it's like a light switch went off in their brain and they were like, oh yeah. Like, you
Yeah.
know, but it's just, it's interesting how negative people can really affect like a child's mind.